How many of you are from outside the state of Texas? Cool, good. I welcome you to the best place in the nation to live, to raise a family, and to have a business. That's not just me talking. It's a lot of people from around the country that have figured that out. You know, within a very short distance of where we are right now are some of the top minds in the nation. And they're working on startups or they're working in established high-tech firms, and they're blazing trails at laboratories over at the University of Texas or just down the road in College Station. Central Texas really represents this combination of intellectual firepower, of entrepreneurial spirit, the economic potential. I don't think you can find that anywhere in the country. I'm telling you, you are at the epicenter of the new biggest deal in the world, I think. And you also, while you're here, try the barbecue. It's the real deal. It is a special place, and it's a special time. Those of you who have kind of, we were talking out back a while ago about the change that this place goes through. About every 10 years, Austin reinvents itself, and I do believe that it is poised to be the next really big deal. The better than Silicon Valley, as someone remarked the other day, where brilliant minds can conceive new ideas and develop them, bring them to the marketplace, right here in the heart of the Lone Star State. And we're well positioned to make that leap, but I would suggest we're not there yet. And to that end, last month I brought together a group of individuals that I certainly would put into the top minds category in research and technology and higher education and venture capital, economic development here in Texas, and from the larger global community, high-tech community. We had a strategic summit designed to answer two very important questions. Number one was just how close is Central Texas to becoming the nation's next high-tech hub? And what do we have to do to get there? And it was a very illuminating discussion on a lot of levels. But one point that we heard time and time again from these individuals was the need for any high-tech hub to be prepared to evolve with the times. We heard from people who were participating in the Boston corridor, and as it came to prominence. We heard from people like John Chambers, who has been out in the West Coast. And we heard from the Boston folks the Harvard-MIT connection. We heard from John Chambers and the folks out on the West Coast that Berkeley and Stanford connection, those very high-octane institutions. We also heard about how over the years those locations have proven unable to change adequately, gotten swept up in either regional or state pressures and begun to lose their edge. Lacking flexibility to change with the times, they open the door for younger, craftier regions of the country to lay stake to those claims. And I happen to think it's time for Central Texas to stake our claim. The Austin area makes sense as a new high-tech hub, largely because of the way Texas is doing business. We've cultivated a culture where innovation is rewarded. Entrepreneurs enjoy more freedom to do things the way they need to, where employers are freed from oppressive government taxes and regulation. It's a culture that's earned us the title as the best place to do business in the country, according to CEO Magazine. Men and women who truly have to make the decisions in businesses like yours every day. I think it's more important to have CEO Magazine out there saying, you have the best state in the nation to do business. I mean, we love to get the title from Forbes or CNBC, which we have. But the fact is, those men and women who every day have to risk their capital, make decisions about how to make that business work, having them stand up and say Texas has the best or is the best place to do business is a powerful message to me, and I think to the rest of the country as well. And I might add, we've had that title now for 7 years running. The recent national economic upheaval has dramatically changed the economic climate in places like California, Massachusetts. It's been putting pressure on jobs. It's been putting pressure on the cost of living, that ever-growing budgets of those states. And here in Texas, we suffered less, and we are rebounding faster than any other place in the country. And it's our commitment to the values that have guided us through this national recession. Those are the same values that make us ideal for a hungry, young, high-tech company, seeking the flexibility, the freedom necessary to rapidly grow from startup to global leader. At the heart of a success story from a Texas company, you'll find the people of the Lone Star State. They truly are a unique breed. Those of you who, again, are from out of town might have noticed some of that in Austin when you got here. This place it's just unique. The fact is, as I said earlier, if Austin has any tradition, it is the tradition of change. It's a city that reinvents itself about every 10 years. It's already firmly established itself as a high-energy, free-thinking destination for those seeking something new, something distinctive. And I'll just go ahead and say it. Austin is weird. They have a campaign here, Keep Austin Weird. And they've been very, very successful with that campaign. But it is a cool place. I mean, the people here are educated, they're eager, they're ready to make a difference. It's why we attracted those world-class high-tech firms like Facebook, like eBay, Samsung. It's the perfect community to jumpstart any high-tech business, and I think they'll prove to be the backbone to our efforts to attract and keep the next generation of businesses that are going to be developed right here in Central Texas. Look, there are brilliant people all over this country. And if we're going to make the quantum leap to high-tech hub, we need a clear direction on how to do that. We also need that continued commitment to fostering a newly born company during very dangerous times. And when I talk about those dangerous times, I'm talking about from the time of that laboratory concept until they can be competitive in the marketplace. And that's why even during a challenging legislative session, we need to continue to be committed to the Texas Emerging Technology Fund. We do not need to take ourselves and unilaterally disarm, because I can promise you our friends in other states are just dying, Jim, to have Texas, kind of step away from our commitment to be competitive. They will fill that void in a nanosecond. Since its inception, the Texas Emerging Technology Fund has allocated more than $196 million to fund over 132 companies nearly $173 million more in matching grants and research superiority funds that came from our universities to match and to collaborate with those ETF funds. Those strategic investments are what's helping us keep groundbreaking innovations right here in the state of Texas, instead of them heading to the coast. Too many times there were stories about some extraordinary innovation that came out of the UT laboratory, and then it left to either go to the East Coast or the West Coast for development. Now we're attracting world-class researchers to schools across our state, not just to these two that I've mentioned here, but for instance, at the University of Houston, we recruited a cancer researcher out of Stockholm, Karolinska Institute, a Dr. Gustafsson, who's one of the world's premier cancer researchers. Now, we didn't have to go quite as far when we went over to Louisiana and got Dr. Prokop, world leader in adult stem cell research for regenerative spinal injuries, and brought him to Temple, Texas. Theo Wilkins out of California, world-class cotton geneticist. Those are the types of individuals that we have brought into the state. They talk to each other. We're in the process of talking to another major researcher in a groundbreaking bit of research. She wants to come to Texas because she understands that this is the place to be. This is the new frontier. And we have reiterated that commitment of being competitive with the members of the legislature to keep that emerging technology fund at its level. It's time for Austin, Texas, to follow places like Boston and San Jose as the national epicenter for cutting-edge technology in the United States of America. Our time has come. Now, I don't have to explain the importance of this goal to all of you in this room. We're talking about the future of Texas. And we're talking about not just right now, we're talking about for generations to come. And it actually depends on us and our success as we seek to take advantage of a rare opportunity. This will not come our way again. We've seen many attempts, and we've seen a lot come up short. Making this happen is going to require teamwork. It's going to require the dedication of professors, of researchers, of administrators, of legislators, along with the private sector, all working together towards a common goal. So what is it that you can do to help? I'll wrap up with that. I encourage all of you to remain very engaged in the regional community, whether it's through Opportunity Austin or whether it's through the Austin Chamber. They got great ideas, and they got some wonderful people who get it when it comes to attracting the kinds of businesses that bring these new innovators into Central Texas. Innovators who will eventually establish their own businesses here. And, you know, the question is, can Austin be the next Silicon Valley? I believe it can, and I believe it should. And through you, it will happen. God bless you, and thank you all for coming and letting me have a bit of your time.
Governor?
Yes, sir.
Before you leave the stage, we have an award, so please stay up at the stage. Julie, if you'll come on up. Stand here in the middle. Julie? So before you go, we want to take this opportunity to present you a specific award created by the Austin Technology Council. The creation of the Texas Emerging Technology Fund by the legislature has created more jobs for Texans while giving our state and business a competitive edge in innovation and growth. Your outstanding contributions to the longevity of the Texas commercial sector through economic development initiatives have provided technology industry all of us an opportunity to flourish. So as a representative of the more than 200 technology companies in the Austin Technology Council, we are proud to recognize you, Governor Perry, as the Technology Champion of the Year.
Thank you. Thank you. This is good stuff.
Thank you, Governor.